Hi, everyone, and welcome to Six Figure Souls, another great interview for our summit. My name is Camille Miller. I am the founder of the Natural Life Business Partnership, a global network for soul-centered entrepreneurs. Today, we have a very special guest, and I'm so excited to have her on with us. She is soulful, certified love life strategist, dating and relationship expert, and founder of Love Quest Coaching. Her name is Lisa Concepcion, or Lisa the Love Coach. Hi, Lisa. Thanks for having me on today.
Thank you for having me. Yay. So fun to do these interviews, talk to the people, give them some value.
Absolutely.
Excited.
I am so excited to have you on. And I found Lisa somehow, law of attraction, we all know, on Facebook, and I just started following her, and she literally made my soul like leap. Because being an entrepreneur, a lot of people know that watch me, I'm very soulful and very single. So, and then I made a choice to do my, build my empire and then date. So I started to watch Lisa, she just been in my feed, so I know I'm supposed to be like watching this. And she talked with such a soulful heart. Like you talked about spirit and allowing and abundance and being who you are. It just totally connected, and that's why I wanted you on the show. So I'm so
I'm
happy to
so
have you.
glad that content, law of attraction, found its way in your feed and that we're together now. It's super cool. I love how that happens on Facebook. It's great.
Yeah, yeah. So awesome. So tell us a little bit about where you came from, because I know you didn't start off as a love coach, but
No,
I
I did
really
not.
want to talk a little bit about your journey and how you found this like awesome place.
Okay, cool. So prior to becoming certified professional love life strategist, coach, etc., I was in public relations and marketing from like 1995 until to 2014,
Okay.
15. And then
Okay.
I freelanced a bit too. So like many people, when you become coach, you're still doing your main hustle as you're
Right.
funding the passion hustle, right? The passion business. And
Right.
then something in me switched. I flipped the script and I said, wait a minute, I'm a coach and this business, this PR game is funding it. So
Yeah.
I started to identify as coach, and no sooner I started to step into the shoes of coach, the universe lined everything up where I had no choice but to go
Yeah.
full time in my business, and the
You're
money
ready.
lined up and the clients started flowing in, and I had to, everything lined up for me to leave full-time PR and start doing full-time coaching. So
Okay.
it was fantastic. But yes, I had a 23-year career in public relations. I worked in New York City. I don't know if you can tell by the accent, but
Yeah.
I'm from New York.
Got people.
I'm a New York metro area girl my whole life till I was 39. And in my personal life at that time, it was during the first economic crash of the 2007, 2008, and it
Okay.
affected my husband at the time was a mortgage broker, so he got hit with that. Then I got 2 years later, 2009 hit. We're both laid off now. We went from, combined income of close to $300,000 to now nothing. And there were other things going on with the marriage, people just not being true to really what their passions are, what they really want to do, where they want to live, how they want to live. And he and I were trying to figure out how we can make a life happen, but there was just a lot there that we unfortunately couldn't sort through. So I made the decision in 2010. We were selling our house. I said, well, if everybody's picking up and going, I got to do me. So I went to Miami Beach, Florida. And as you can tell by the tan, I never
Yeah.
looked back.
Oh
But
my.
I had to figure out what I was going to do while here. So I came here thinking, bravado, I'm from New York, I'll get a job like that, no problem. And it wasn't the case. The public relations game down here is very different than what
I
you're
can
used to
imagine.
in New York.
Yeah.
Miami Beach is very international. It's a very heavy Latin place where a lot of people speaking Spanish. It was almost like you wanted a job here, you needed to speak Spanish. I'm New Yorican, Puerto Rican, but I don't identify.
Right.
I'm American. You know what I mean? I
Okay.
speak English. My parents speak to me in English. Like I just like look this way, right? The packaging is Latin, but that's kind of all that it is. So,
Gotcha.
it was a little bit of a culture shock, but I had to figure it out. So I started to do freelancing. I was always entrepreneurial, a hustler. I always figured it out. So I started to write and I started to blog about businesses and restaurants and nightlife. And from there, I picked up a few clients that sustained me doing marketing, PR, social media, etc. And then from there, I needed something more stable, and that's what led me to work for Grant Cardone. I was his marketing director, public relations director and marketing. This was 2013, 2014, when he first moved his business from California to Miami. And we were just this little scrappy team of 20 people building his thing. And I learned so much. And one of the main things I learned from him was be an entrepreneur. Like, if you can swing it and you have the stomach for it and you have the motivation for it, do it, because you'll never allow anyone else to be in charge of your economy ever again. And that resonated with me in a big way. And I just kind of learned from him for a year and a half. And then when it was time to move on, I did. And I was still a little uncertain with what it was I was going to do. But in my own personal life, things were crumbling, falling apart. At that point, my husband at the time came from California to Miami to be with me, to reconnect again. And it didn't work out. It was devastating. I was in this codependent spin with him of stagnation, and I just was stuck in my life. I was in my almost mid 40s at this point, and I said, I have to make a change. I have to be brave, and I have to just wipe the table clean and rebuild and start over. And in that journey, in that divorce, that was when I was called, through my healing of it, was where I was called to serve in the way of coach. I had put myself on a very strict 90-day divorce detox. I dated no one. I barely went out. I was self-help, books, courses, Reiki master, therapist. I mean, if you told me, take this pen and hold it here and hop on one foot for 20 days straight, and you'll be cured of all your, BS from your childhood and whatever. Not only would I have done it, but I probably would have paid 10 grand for the pen. Right? That's how desperate I was.
Gotcha.
For soul connection. I was very disconnected from myself. I was very external. I was living extremely externally. So I went to this workshop. It was for reinventing yourself at midlife, entrepreneurial women who wanted to reinvent and pick a business. And it was in that course where I was there in a hotel for a weekend. We had some exercises to really understand, like, what kind of life would be our perfect life. How would we live if it's like Wednesday at 11 a.m.? What are you doing? And they would ask these very pointed questions, and it really helped us to dig in. It helped me to dig in to really, what is my why and how do I want to live? And then what kind of business model can support that ideal life? Yep. So I had to reverse engineer it in my life. And that was when I was doodling and people were like, what do people gravitate towards you normally? And I was like, my videos, they like my videos. I talk about my life and my relationships and my dramas. And then they asked me for help. I'm like, why would you come to me for help? This is, 2014, 13. I was a hot mess. But people were asking me, they're like, I'll pay you money to like talk to me for an hour on, on Skype or whatever. And I was like, why do you want to talk to me? They're like, because you're fun. You're going through it. You probably have wisdom. I was like, okay. But I felt though like an ethical responsibility though to like get certified and like go about coaching from an actual way. Yeah. So that brought me to like 2015, 2016. Went through my divorce detox, came out the other side, realized all the stuff about myself that I had to grow and heal, and I did it, and I committed to myself, my self-love, my self-care. It was all about like Lisa reconnecting to Lisa and not holding anyone else responsible for my well-being, for my money, for my nothing. It was just me 100% loving up on me. And it was very empowering. It changed my game. And from there, that's when I had the confidence to say, okay, I can make this a business. I can really go at this hardcore and serve people in a meaningful way. I went through the Institute of Professional Excellence in Coaching, which is certified by the International Coaching Federation. I wanted to go to like, give me the Harvard, Princeton, Yale of coaching credentials. Like, that's where I'll go. So I did that down here in Miami, FIU. It took about 10 months, kicked my butt. I mean, just when you think you've, peeled back layers, this type of stuff gets you even more and more. And I was doing other courses, other stuff. Again, the more I would invest in me, the more I felt appropriate to serve other people. And then I just built this business and like, oh my God, amazing. I love what I do. I absolutely love what I do. The fact that it's, what are we? It's today's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
Thursday, Wednesday, whatever. Doesn't matter. It's midweek and it's 11:21 in the morning. And I'm in like this little flimsy, beachy, bohemian thing, like hardly any makeup, bare feet. Like, you kidding me? 12 years ago, I was in New York City in an office with no windows, nothing, breathing recirculated air. No, this is a disaster. My life is so much better. I look out the window, I see the beach. Amazing.
Wow. So you've said so many things that I want to touch on.
Okay. I love when it's natural. I love when it's two girls just, chit-chatting.
Yeah. I'm just sitting here going, oh my God, we could do so much. Like, this is amazing. But what I was hearing and what was going through my head is what you were saying about your own self-love, your own journey to kind of put yourself back together. I see that in entrepreneurship all the time. In fact, it was in my own, although I did a 2-year detox, not a 90-day detox, because originally when I came out of my marriage, talk about a hot mess. I was married for 22 years. I just broke out like I was 20 again.
It's arrested development. Same. Oh, same. Honey, I was like 39 years old, hanging out with 24-year-old guys.
Yeah, it was not cool. It was not cool. So I had to really love myself. And that was a big lesson. And I ended up, just for myself, I'm not certified in any modalities but one. It's called Psyche. And when going through that, I started to heal myself. It started to reflect in everything. So that's when I hear you talk, like when you self-love, when you look inside, when you do the inner work before the outer work, I don't care if it's in love or money or entrepreneurship or whatever it is, it made a difference in everything. People start to lose weight and look better, and you feel good, and you dress well, and you take care of yourself. Like, it's all over the place.
It's so true. Like, I know I could not have taken the responsibility, right? I refer to it as almost like a divine assignment, because the way I was assigned to do this work was through my own healing.
Yeah.
And it's about being, on the acupuncture table and having this moment where energy is moving. I'm crying, and my divine me, my whole me, God, spirit, whatever you want to call it, speaking to me, through me, as me, is standing beside as I'm crying on this table. And it's like, girl, you know who this is, right? And I'm like, I know. I think I know. And I'm just disaster, knowing though that my divine self, my strongest self, was there. And she said to me, my love, I love you so much. Do you know how much I love you? And I'm with you till death. Do you know what that is? And I'm like, I think I know. It just hurts so much. It was just a bad time. And then she says, well, I'm here with you, and I saw everything that was going on, and I would never, ever let anyone destroy you, ever. I stepped in when it was your time. You had learned enough, and it was your time. And now you're going to heal up, and honey, you're going to heal the world. You're going to help other people. Do you understand the gravity of what I'm telling you? And I was like, I think so. And she's like, okay, my love, I need you to breathe for me. And I remember being on the acupuncture. I had a needle in the heart chakra, which released all this. I had one in the third eye. I had like another one in the neck. It was a mess. I was there like, but I managed to just be like, I connected to the breath. And it was as if I had this like new life, this new energy in me where I was like, all right, like I was given an assignment. Like I can't take this lightly. And that was really what set the energy in me forward from that blend of the masculine and feminine, where I was like really broken on that table. But then all of a sudden, that feminine, you know, the expending of the energy, the outward, the heart opening, combined with that breath in, that groundedness, that was like, okay, now I'm not too masculine or too feminine. I'm like right centered, aligned. Let's play. Let's do this business. Like, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Do you think spirit still shows up in your business? Like
All
every
the time. Every day. Like, I can't begin a session. I call upon spirit whenever I do an interview like this.
Okay.
Because I don't believe it's my business. I believe that I work for spirit, and it's just an assignment, right? Yeah. So I come on here and I mentally prepare, and I'm like, you know, divine spirit, give me the words. Use me for the vessel to communicate the best words for whoever needs to hear them, and let whatever resonates hit their soul, and let it come from you through me to them. And that's it. Like, I'm the conduit by which, I'm not it. I'm a vessel for it. It comes from, you know, alignment up through out to the people. And I coach that way. I tend to attract very type A, successful go-getter types who for the life of them can't figure out why they have these consistent patterns in relationships, things that follow up and come up time and time again. Dating strategies, they want to, you know, approach dating like they are their businesses, and they forget that there's this whole other soulful, intuitive yumminess, especially for women, but for men too. And you know, and I help people everything from getting over divorces and breakups to creating dating strategies after divorce, after healing a heartbreak. What do you do now that you're reemerging into dating again? And to come at it from a combined head and heart, you know, have your heart into it, be open, be brave, have faith, but have your questions on point. Know what you want out of your life. Know what kind of partner would be the right type of partner. Know when to give them access to you, because that's what it is, really. You're granting them access. So it's very important to have a clear idea of who's allowed behind the velvet rope, right? This is the club of my life. This is the best club in town. I'm not just opening the velvet rope and letting anybody in. Honey, if you let anybody into that fabulous restaurant, you know what that restaurant will be called again, eventually? Applebee's. Nothing against Applebee's. I'm a fan, but Applebee's is not, you know, Morton's or whatever. There's a difference. Point is, we all get to choose who we let in our space. And this has to do with clients. This has to do with collaborations, business partnerships, family members, friendships. Like, we ultimately choose, and our vibration decides. We choose, but the vibration will serve up exactly what's up. So, you know, what we do with that is our power. We can decide, like, if I don't like what I'm attracting, look at me. What am I putting out that's bringing this back? What is it in me that attracts this? So in our businesses, if we're like, oh my God, everybody's broke, nobody's hiring me, what's going on? Oh, I'm attracted. Okay, where in my life am I in lack? Where in my life am I in scarcity? Let me look at where I am, and I can change me like that.
Yeah.
Right? So
receive it.
I feel like with entrepreneurship, there's a lot of similarity between entrepreneurship and relationships. Relationship with self, romantic relationship with family. It's all about managing personalities and managing energy. So one of the things that I learned in my training with IPEC is I'm an energy leadership master practitioner, which is just a fancy way of saying I read vibe and I can shift vibe. I roll into a room and I can tell, like, who had a bad day and whatever. And I know how to hold my space, but go to them with compassion and kindness and inspiration and get them to level up. Even if it's just 2 notches on the emotional scale, it makes a difference. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah. No, I love your speak. And as you were saying with the relationship, so one of the things that I teach to my community is always, I call it relationship marketing.
Oh, okay.
Right? And when you market, it's almost like dating. Yeah. Like, you can't just sell them the goods, like, right from the top, right? It's a process, right? So I teach it through relationships and never being attached to the outcome as much as just enjoying the process of it. like go through the process of it. And it's kind of the same thing because your relationships are what matters. And it was very interesting during this whole COVID shutdown, you know, checking on my community who are very soulful and just seeing like, you know, who is in that scarcity mode and people weren't. It's because of what we believe. Right. And it was really amazing to see people still thriving right now. So when you hear like, no, everyone's broke, I can't charge. And that was actually the foundation of why I'm doing this summit, is because I kept hearing from the outer world, I can't do it. I don't want to do, you know, like, people don't have money. I can't charge anymore. And I was like, that's self-worth. That starts here, honey.
And it's also about vibration, right? So it's an instinct. It's a fight or flight. This news that came, it puts you in the fight or flight. But when you know, okay, let's get grounded, right? You know the tools. You're like, all right, you have 27 seconds to freak out. You're allowed. You're allowed to feel your feelings. You're allowed to be with yourself. Be kind, be compassionate. You're freaking out. You don't know what's up. It is uncertain. However, in this, who are your people? Who are your people? You're not interested in the masses, honey. You're not coaching the masses. You're coaching your person. So I got in my journal and I said, okay, I know who my ideal client is. Who is my ideal client during the lockdown? Who is this person? What is their mindset? How are they looking at the news? Are they looking at the news? I got deep and I said, all right, I wrote it. It took an hour. I said, this is my person right now. This is who I focus on. This is who I speak to. This is who my marketing is going to connect to. This is the topics that I'm given. And I said, okay, divine spirit, give me something. Give me some juju. Give me some inspiration. And that's when I came up with the 5 o'clock quarantini. Happy hour.
Been watching, just so you know.
Happy hour. Like, what? Think about my people. My people are working. They're trying to grind out every day. And, you know, it's quarantine. People might be partaking in some wine, maybe a cocktail at the end of the day. Who knows? But I was like, you know what? Why not hit my balcony, put the camera out there, make myself a little cocktail, or have it, you know, booze free, whatever my deal is, depending on who I'm coaching that day. And like have a heart to heart and do it about different topics affecting relationships, dating, you know, mindset, whatever. And it worked. And you know what? My April and May and March, April, May were no different from the months prior. In fact, I had a stronger April, May because I was speaking the language of the people. I got very, very specific about what they were saying, how they were thinking, and it clicked. It worked. But that scarcity mindset is dangerous. And I saw a lot of coaches as well doing that. And I reached out to a bunch of them. And I was like, hey, listen, like, how are you doing? And they're like, I'm freaking out and this, and my husband was furloughed and now it's all on me. I'm like, yeah. So I have a dog, a Pomeranian, who doesn't work and it's all on me. Like, I can help you. Do you want to do a little energy shifting? And they're like, yeah, let's do it. So I was offering a whole different package. I was doing energy shifting, up leveling your energy during COVID-19, like bombardment with the news, bombardment with your family calling and checking on you every day. You're a grown person. There's mom. Are you wearing your mask? You need to wear your mask when you go out. Don't forget. I'm like, too much, you know? So yeah, so other people were in the thick of it going through it. But you know, the thing that I learned from working with an entrepreneur like Grant Cardone was that adaptability, malleability. You need to be like bamboo, right? You gotta, you know, he came at it very masculine. I looked at it from a soulful place, little Wayne Dyer, you know, Marianne Williamson, flowing, being with the flow. Don't put the canoe, Abraham Hicks, don't put the canoe against the current, right? If the whole current is COVID current, going against that, honey, that's a tidal wave. You want to roll with it. You want to say, all right, everybody's freaking out. How do I hang out with the people who are freaking out and help them and remind them their guidance? They're just, don't let something like this pandemic, what have you, new normal, detract you from what is always constant, which is your inner guidance. Your inner guidance, when you connect, anything that comes your way, you'll be like, all right, show me how to see this differently. Show me how to cope with this differently.
Amazing.
And you adapt, you know, and you're not alone. You're working with divine forces, infinite intelligence, your ideas, bing, blog articles, content. It starts to flow when you ask. When you ask and you realize and you're humble and you're like, I am not doing this business by myself. I have infinite intelligence. How many times, Camille, are you in the shower, hair conditioner, shaving legs, and all of a sudden, best idea for a piece of content right in your head?
That is the way I actually figure things out. I step away from it. And when I
Yep.
do less, more comes to me. And it's the hardest thing to teach, like that I call it allowing, right? That's
Allowance.
my flow. That's my like when I know that I can figure out anything if I step away from it. The answer will always come to me.
I
And it comes
had
from another
look,
purpose.
type A people, it's so hard for
Yeah.
them to, because they're in doing. The masculine
Yeah.
is very doing, got to
Yeah.
do this, got to make my list, go, go, go.
Yeah.
And there is a time for that.
Right.
But
Well, I'm a
it's
recovering
reverse.
control addict. So
We all are. We all are.
it was that.
We created our businesses to
Yeah.
have more control over our lives. So that right there
Yeah.
shows you, it's like, there's a level of kookadook that happens in the entrepreneurial mind. Think about it. You have to have like a little, like I call it the right kind of crazy. You have to have like enough of the right kind of crazy to be bold enough to do what we do. I think.
I agree with that. It's definitely a certain personality. So, one other question. So, a lot of times, as people either move up in their entrepreneurial world, right, become successful, or they have this spiritual awakening, this people call it coming out of the closet spiritually, and starting to put that forward, they lose a lot of friends, acquaintances, people from their back life. So, and since you talked a lot about relationships, is that part of it? Do you, one, did you go through it? Because I think we all
Yes.
do.
Yeah.
And two, do you also coach that as part of, like, you have to let go? Like, some people, I think Facebook screws it up because they keep us connected to people that we should not be connected to any longer. Like,
Yeah,
there's
but
a
you know
reason
what?
why we don't
The
talk to
way,
high school friends.
yeah, it's funny. It's such a perfect question. I have a client going through this. I 100% went through it.
Yeah.
My Facebook is highly curated. So I'm always adding people, changing people. Like I always have like that 300 people zone of like in and out and whatever. And then I go
Okay.
through, I'm always curating. That being
Yes.
said, I have connections still with people I knew from I was 6 years old growing up on Long Island. I have people that I went to college with, worked with, all of my lives, right? All of the decades of my life, of my almost 5 decades of life, right, are on Facebook. And they're meeting each other, doing business together. Like people are sending me money. Girl, I just made $3,000 because of your person from high school that like needed a mortgage broker. So I'm sending you an Amazon gift. I'm like, okay, because when you're open and you're a unifier, like
Yeah, I'm a connect.
you hold you. So I might be looking for my high school friends when I go back to New York and we have a high school reunion of some sorts. Now I'm all up in that crew. Then I'll be like, all right, what's up with my Jersey friends from when I lived there? So I'm always touching base with people, but I'm very aware of the version of me now. And those people in my life, while they are still connected to me, it's on a very different level now.
Yeah.
It's a very different type of connection. So I'm not here to say in entrepreneurship, you have to like shun all your friends and go at it alone. Not necessarily. I am from the mind of and the heart of, do you be cool with everybody, bless everybody for they are part of your journey. They helped you come to here, and let the chips fall where they fall and let your energy dictate who comes in and who goes and how. And, yeah, there might be friends out there who might be a little resentful, maybe jealous. Like, you picked up yourself and moved to South Beach and now you're in this bikini, you're tan all the time. You have this perfect life. And it's like, well, how can I help you?
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to dim my sparkle for someone else's insecurity. Like, I'm not doing that. Yeah. But I will elevate them and say, my love, you can do this too. Like, what are you interested in doing? And change the vibe of the conversation just by taking an interest in them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, friendships will definitely evolve and change and grow, and some will fall away. I mean, my best friend of my life, you were married 22 years. I was with my guy 24, between dating, married 17, and then separated, the whole thing. So that was a best friend that we grew apart, and now our relationship is something different. It morphed into something else. Other people, family, cousins, people who are moved on, they had babies. everybody's doing their thing, you know? And I'm just like, bless them all with love and light, and like, do you, and let the chips fall where they fall. People, there's 8 billion people on the planet, right? There's always somebody to hang. There's always somebody to hang with. Right? There's 8 billion people. There's always somebody to hang with. And now with Zoom, forget it. You can hang with people in Europe just like this.
I know. I'm actually loving it. Yeah. Lisa, I want to thank you so much for being a part of our summit. It was awesome.
Yay!
Awesome.
I was so fun. Such a delight to connect with you. And I look forward to collaborating on more stuff.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. I think we might have to do a follow-up of people that need love life after entrepreneurship. Or with, in conjunction with, I should say.
For real.
Not after.
Look, dating while doing your business.
Yeah, I love this. Okay, I'm seeing another connection. So if you love this, please share with your friends all about this summit, Six Figure Souls, and continue the conversation in our Facebook group. If you have any questions or comments for Lisa after this, I'm sure she'll love to get in touch with you and tell you whatever her wisdom is. All right. Thank you. Thanks, Lisa. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you so much again.
You're welcome.